This statue has been sitting here for almost 800 years. It has watched wars, earthquakes, and the rise and the fall of governments. But the real story is not about this Buddha. It's about the men who built it. Warriors, soldiers, people who were never supposed to rule. Hello everyone, and welcome to the P.W.History channel. I'm Tom. Today, I did some fieldwork in Kamakura, Japan, and I'm excited to share it with you. Have you ever heard of Kamakura? It's one of the most important places in understanding Japanese history. So, if we were interested in Japanese culture or planning a visit to Japan, this video is definitely for you. What if the people who were supposed to protect you decided to take over? That's exactly what happened in Japan, and it all started last year in Kamakura. This is Kamakura, a small town about 1 hour south of Tokyo. Today, it's a quiet place, temples, shrines, tourists taking photos. But more than 800 years ago, this town changed Japan, however. This is where warriors created their own government and took power from the emperor. I'm studying it. Well, actually, I'm at home right now, but I just came back from Kamakura and I need to tell you what I found there. To understand this story, we need to back to the year 1100. Japan's capital was in Kyoto. The emperor and his nobles lived there. They wrote poetry, they painted, they held beautiful ceremonies, but there was one big problem. They could not fight. So, here's the thing. Japan's rulers were amazing at poetry, art, and fashion. But fighting? Not so much. So, they hired warriors to do the dirty work. Big mistake. When trouble came, they called the warriors from the countryside. These warriors were called samurai. At first, samurai were just bodyguards. They protected the nobles and went home. Think about it this way. Imagine you hired bodyguard. He's bigger than you, stronger than you, and you keep giving them money and land. At some point, he's going to ask, why am I working for you? But over time, they got stronger, they got learned, they built armies. And one day, they asked themselves a simple question: why are we protecting people who are weaker than us? Now, two samurai families rose to the top, the Taira and the Minamoto, and they hate each other. This is where things get really interesting. In the 1100s, two powerful samurai families fought for control of Japan. The Taira and the Minamoto. The Taira won first. Their leader became the most powerful man in Japan. But he made a mistake. He moved to Kyoto and started acting like nobles. He forgot what made warriors strong. Yoritomo waited 20 years. 20 years as a prisoner, basically. That kind of patience is terrifying. On the other side was Minamoto no Yoritomo. He was sent away as a boy, a prisoner really, and spent 20 years waiting. During those years, he made friends with warriors in Eastern Japan. He planned, he prepared. When the time came, he raised his army. His younger brother, Yoshitsune, was a military genius. In 1185, the Minamoto destroyed the Taira completely. So, the Minamoto won the war, destroyed the Taira completely. Yoritomo is now most powerful man in Japan. And what does he do? He doesn't go to the capital. He goes to the tiny town called Kamakura. Yoritomo had won, but what he did next surprised everyone. Okay, so this is the part of the real economy. Why Kamakura? There was nothing there. No palace, no government buildings, just mountains and sea. Why would build a capital there? Most leaders would have gone to Kyoto, the capital, the center of everything. But Yoritomo said no. He chose this place instead, Kamakura. Why? Look at this. This narrow pass is called Kiridoshi, a mountain pass cut through rock. Kamakura is surrounded by mountains on three sides. The first side faces the sea. The only way in? Only narrow passage. A small group of warriors could defend this place against a much larger army. It was a natural fortress. When the walked through those mountains passes, I understood. They're so narrow that even 10 warriors could hold off an army. Kamakura is basically natural castle. But there is another reason, maybe even more important. Kyoto was dangerous, not because of enemies, because of culture. But here's what I think was the real genius move. Yoritomo saw what happened to the tire. They went to Kyoto and became soft. He said, not me. I'm staying far away from the cold culture. And that's what saved his government. The nobles in Kyoto were masters of politics and soft power. The Taira went to Kyoto and became soft themselves. Yoritomo chose Kamakura to stay away from that, to keep his warriors focused. It was a brilliant decision. Tsurugaoka Hachimangu. This shrine was the best of the White House of Samurai Japan. Every important decision happened here. This is Tsurugaoka Hachimangu, the most important shrine in Kamakura. Yoritomo built it in 1190, 5 years before he even won the war. Think about that. He built the center of his new government before the war was over. That's confidence. In 1192, the emperor gave Yoritomo the title shogun, meaning military ruler. So now, Japan has two leaders, an emperor in Kyoto, who does ceremonies, and Shogun Kamakura, who actually runs everything. It's like having a king and a prime minister who has all the real power. Now, Japan has two leaders, the emperor in Kyoto, like a king with no real power, and the shogun in Kamakura, the one who actually ran the country. This was completely new. No other country had a system like this. Why did warriors love Zen Buddhism. Think about it. You might die tomorrow. You don't want a religion that says, think about the afterlife. You want one that says, be here, right now, and act.
Kamakura's warriors didn't just fight, they also thought deeply about life and death. This is Kencho-ji, Japan's first offshore Zen temple, built in 1253. Zen Buddhism was perfect for warriors. It taught, don't overthink, stay in the present, act without hesitation. For men who could die any day. This was exactly what they needed. Zen also valued simplicity, no luxury, no decoration, just focus. The complete opposite of Kyoto's aristocratic culture.
The Kamakura government fell in 1333. But here's the plot twist. The system didn't die. Warriors kept ruling Japan for another 500 years. The idea born in Kamakura just kept going.
The Kamakura shogunate fell in 1333, but here's the amazing thing. The system Yoritomo created did not. Warrior governments continued to rule Japan for near 700 years. After Kamakura came the Ashikaga shogunate. Then came a long period of civil war. And finally, the Tokugawa shogunate, which brought 265 years of peace. All of this started here, in this small town, surrounded by mountains. One man's decision to build something new, away from the old capital, changed the entire history of Japan.
One man chose a small town surrounded by the mountains instead of the grand capital. And that one decision shaped Japan for 7 centuries. That's the power of choosing life place.
The warrior ruled Japan only ended in 1868 when the emperor took back power. This great Buddha was born in 1252, right in the middle of the Kamakura period. It has seen it all, the power, the wars, the peace, and after almost 800 years, it's still here, still waiting, still watching.
So next time you see a picture of samurai, remember, it all started in Kamakura, a quiet town that changed everything. If you like this video, hit subscribe. I've got a lot more Japanese history and culture coming. See you in the next one.